Can someone explain to me why British people only want to communicate on WhatsApp? I didn't even have WhatsApp as like an app on my phone until I started traveling around Europe and the UK. And I get using it if you're texting someone in a different country and you don't want to like get charges and stuff. But if you're texting someone in the UK and you're also in the UK, why are you using WhatsApp? Why can't you just use like the regular text app thing that's on your phone pre-installed? 98% of my British contacts use WhatsApp, and they don't use, like, I've literally spoken to people like, yeah, I never actually text someone like the way you're supposed to.
I don't know, different strokes for different folks, right? Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by and supporting your girl on this channel. Y'all are fabulous. All credit goes to the creators in these videos. So, guys, thank you so much for the feedback on two, okay, just two of my culture shock videos. So in today's video, I'm sure you must have guessed from the title. Let's get into it and let me know what you think in the comment section.
And I wanted to share some of the biggest culture shocks that I've had since living here, because I don't know, you might find them interesting. First one is definitely, this took me by surprise so much the first time it happened. Like, I was like, what is going on? But it's at 11 a.m. every day when the national tea alarm goes off and you have to stop everything you're doing and just relax and have a cup of tea. It's like, it's really, really nice and chill, but like, it's quite a shocking sound that just blares across the entire country. It's kind of crazy. Number two is the fact that you have to eat a certain number of beans on toast per year. If you don't hit that minimum, you actually have to pay a fine. So like every time you have beans on toast for lunch, there's a dedicated government app. They have an NHS app too. It's similar to that. You take a snapshot of it and it sends it to the government. They know that you've eaten it. They know you're good. And if by December 31st you haven't had the number, it changes every year. I can't remember what it is this year, but if you haven't had that many, you have to pay a fine. Number three is the fact that when it's nice out, which to be fair is not very often here, but when it is nice out, sort of anything above 20 degrees and sunny, men are just required to take their shirts off and just walk around town, do whatever they're doing, but without their shirts. And when I first heard about this, I was like, that's kind of sexist. Like, you can't just force the men to do that. But unfortunately, it's just the way it is. It's the rules. Are we on number four? I think we're on number four. Number four is the fact that every room in your house is required to have a picture of the current monarch in it. I don't know if you've seen the new painting that just came out of the king, but that is the one that's going to be required to be in every house, starting, I think, in a few months' time. That's all for now. Let me know if you'd like to hear any more, and follow me on my journey of being an American in the
culture shocks I've had as an American in the UK, but summer edition. The moment that it reaches 18 degrees, it's considered basically like tropical weather. Everybody's out without a jacket, just having fun in the sun, even to the point where my friends won't take their dogs out to the park because it's considered too hot sometimes. It's crazy because obviously I come from Florida where it's scorching hot. Saying that, it's crazy that there's no AC in the houses here. That's one of the things that was really hard to get used to, because when it gets really hot in summer, it's difficult to like sleep without AC coming from the US. So I was 24/7 living with a huge fan in front of my face. So you can imagine I got a cold many times. A lot of the houses here don't have drying machines, like dryers. So people love to dry their clothes, like line dry them in the garden, like in the backyard. And it's sort of like a therapeutic thing. I've been loving it. It's actually really nice to go in the garden, line your clothes, and just wait for it to dry naturally. It's different and I like it. One of my favorite things about the UK, just Europe in general, is that people actually go on vacation, which in the US you could never. You would literally have to ask for PTO, schedule your vacation starting on Thursday and then coming back maybe Monday or Tuesday so you could take advantage of the weekend. So that would be considered like your week PTO. In Europe and the UK, you can go for 2 weeks on vacation and it's totally acceptable. I'm going on vacation and I just email my clients and tell them I'm going to be on vacation. You're gonna have to wait for me to come back. Obviously, I have to make sure that I have enough cash to sustain myself during the vacation, but it's still very nice to be able to do that. In the US, we actually don't have like parks like in London, and during the weekends, it's actually very normal to just go have a picnic with your friends, with your family, take your dog, and just like spend the whole day at the park. And the parks are completely slammed with people. They're a total vibe, and actually something budget friendly to do that's just really nice. I don't know if this is like a British thing, but I do feel they are a little bit more chill. They actually like won't say that it bothers them. Last Friday, I had a meeting with a client and I was at a pub. My friend who's British was like, yeah, we'll have the meeting at the pub. And I was like, okay. We actually had the call. It was 4 p.m. on a Friday. And the client was just like so nice about it. They were like, oh yeah, have fun at the pub, whatever. We had the conversation we had to have and bye, that was it. And they were fine with it. In the US, that would never happen. They would just think that you're just eating shit and not like, you know.
Culture shocks that I've had living as an American in London is how much people here drink. Like, it's insane. For example, yesterday, me and my team, we were having a meeting, and then they were just like, should we go for a drink? It was 3 p.m. We went and had 2 beers, went back to work, and then afterwards, we all went for after work drinks at 5:30, and we had like, I don't even know, like 4 or 5 drinks. Like, people here drink a lot. And that was honestly like one of the biggest like things I had to adjust to. I've adjusted well, like my tolerance is literally through the roof now, but it's kind of weird. Like in the US, that would never happen, and people would be like, oh, that's really weird, and then wait until the weekend to drink. But like here, people kind of just like take it day by day, and they have more fun during the week rather than like living till the weekend, which I kind of like, because you're not just like living to work, you're working to live. And all of my friends who have visited here have also said the same thing. They're like, I cannot keep up with British people. And I was like, I know. I have literally had to build up a tolerance to live here.
What I love about England that we don't do in America too often is these random footpaths. This footpath will take you from Oxford all the way to London. If you want to walk it, if you want to ride a bike, it doesn't matter. The walking community here in England is absolutely insane. I think we should do better, America. What do you guys think?
Tell you about some culture shocks I experienced moving from the US to the UK. So these are in no particular order, but one that I think is like one of the biggest ones is tipping. As we know, tipping culture in the States is out of control. Here, like, you go out to dinner and they just bring you a little card machine to the table and you tap your card and they ask if you want a receipt, and then that's it. Like, that's literally all. Like, you don't tip service, you don't tip. I made this mistake when I got this tattoo. It was the first tattoo I got in London, and I got extra cash out because I thought I needed to tip. And the tattoo, I think, came to like $350 or something, and I gave him $400, which even in the US is like not a good enough tip. He was like, you don't need to do that, like we don't tip here. And I was like, oh, like he already had the money in his hand, and I was like, okay, well, it's fine, keep it, like you did a great job, like thank you. Tipping for your hair, no. Nails, no. Going out to eat, no. Buying a drink at the bar, no. Also, Apple Pay everywhere. I literally don't bring my wallet out half the time anymore because you literally don't need it. You use it for the tube, you use it when, like at a restaurant, they don't take your card away at a restaurant. You use it at the bar, you use it at every single shop, every single market, and it's amazing. Another big one is the whole like, you alright, you okay, really threw me the first few times I heard it, because I was like, do I not look okay? Like, if somebody comes up to you in the US and they're like, are you okay? You'd be like, yeah, I'm like, do I not look?
So much reverse culture shock with the customer service. I totally forgot how over the top Americans are. And after being in the UK for 7 years, I like almost cringed at how friendly and nice every single waiter or Uber driver or bartender or everyone. It was like, it almost made me uncomfortable. It was crazy. Now, two things are really at play here. The first is obviously American customer service workers are working for tips. So they're going to go above and beyond to make sure that you're comfortable and that you have what you need, because For some reason, we as like diners are paying their wages. So they're working for you to pay them, basically. So like from that angle, like I get it. Of course, if you're expecting someone to leave you a tip, you're going to make sure they have the best experience possible so that they tip you. But also, Americans are just more naturally outgoing and overly friendly from the very beginning of an introduction compared to Brits. This is obviously a giant overgeneralization, but Brits are more often than not a bit more closed off at first until they warm up to you, whereas Americans are usually pretty friendly from the start. We're also just like way louder. Like, have you ever been on the tube and Americans are talking and you're like, oh my God, guys, shut up. No one actually talks on the tube. This being said, I do hate walking into a store in the UK and feeling like I'm bothering the customer service rep if I like need something. Like in the US, they're like, hey, let me know if you need anything. I'll be here. You know, is there anything I can help you with? Like they come up to you, which is so much better. Like I don't feel awkward. Whereas in the UK, like I feel like I'm inconveniencing a worker by asking them for like, oh, do you have a different size? Or like, oh, where's the men's stuff? It's like, oh, I do need a little bit more.
Moved to London about 6 months ago, and one of the biggest culture shock things with living here is learning their portion sizes, which honestly, take this with a grain of salt because I grew up in America. So I picked up these pre-marinated chicken thighs from M&S. This is supposed to serve 2 people, but I was gonna have enough for dinner tonight as well as lunch tomorrow. This is all that came in the pack, 1 singular chicken thigh. And this is supposed to be enough for 2 people. Yeah, America.
So hot, and he's over 6 foot. Foot? Don't you mean meters? No, we always say height in feet and inches. I thought the UK was on the metric system. Yeah, we are, obviously. Okay, so then if I'm like at the store and I just wanted to buy some apples, it won't be in pounds, it'll be in kilos, right? Yeah, like I said, we're on the metric system. Okay, but then if I asked you how much you weighed? No, well, that's different. It's pounds a stone. Did you just say stone? Yeah, stone. It's about 14 pounds. Everyone knows that. Okay, so if I asked you what the temperature was today, what would you say? Well, it was quite warm out. I think about 25 degrees. And what about for cars? Like when you're on the roads, do you use kilometers? No, for cars it's miles. And then when you fill up your gas, it's with gallons? Don't be ridiculous. Of course we use liters. So then are your cars miles per liter? Now that wouldn't make any sense, would it? It's miles per gallon. Are you fucking with me right now? No, I'm being serious. When did you switch to the metric system then? Was it like last week and that's why everything's so mixed? No, it's been since 1965.
Shocks I got moving from California to England was how small everything was, like highways, houses, cars. Everything just felt a lot smaller, which isn't surprising because I come from a place that has 10-lane freeways and giant cars. Also, pretty obviously the accents, but I was actually more surprised at how many different English accents there were. I think in the US, you grow up watching films placed in England and 99% of the time they're London or more neutral accents. I actually went to North Yorkshire on my first ever trip to England, so I got a huge surprise when they didn't all sound like Tom Hiddleston. Lastly is the way people dress. It really caught me off guard because it was just slightly different to how people dress in California, but you can definitely tell a difference, especially in the shoes, because wearing thin fabric shoes like Vans and Converse isn't as common due to the unpredictable rain, which I actually learned the first day at university when I wore Toms and they got absolutely soaked in the first 15 minutes.
Is a crazy place. I've been living here. I'm American, but I've been living here for a little over 5 years. Differences in the UK and the US, but let me talk about drinking. First and foremost, the legal drinking age here is 18. In the US, it's 21. When here and you're young, like I did, I moved here when I was 18, you're having a good time. But drinking is just so normal here. Monday through Sunday, these people are drinking. And some of it, it's fun. You're out with friends, you just grab a beer, you grab a wine, you grab whatever, you go to the pub. It's just a different world. The other thing is that pubs are really family friendly, most of them. You'll see kids in the bar or in the pubs. That was a shocker to me. But the biggest thing that shocked me is how comfortable people are drinking at work or in a work environment around your coworkers. So when I was working like office jobs here, 4 o'clock hits on Thursdays, they'd roll around a drinking cart around the office. so people can like drink, and you get to choose your drink. So I was just, had a wine. But crazy to me, like a bar cart would be, the bell ding 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 ding, and they roll around the bar cart. And like the US company parties, corporate parties, they don't have anything on the way that they do it in the UK, because these people go in. So normal to see your boss be waved on the floor, like it is for you to just see your coworkers be in that state, and then you come back in Monday like boom, nothing even happened, nothing changed. And it's like, it's nice because it reminds you that, okay, everyone here is just a human. But I don't really think it's that healthy. People will probably come for me and like defend British drinking culture, but it's not the healthiest thing. You always need alcohol to like hang out and connect with people. So now for me, whenever I go back to the US, I always have to like readjust my mindset and be like, okay, drinking isn't, so normalized. The other thing is you can carry alcohol on the streets in most places. Some places they're like, you can't carry alcohol. Like, you can have a beer, you can have your little can of wine out in the street and just drink it, and it's not an issue. Whereas in the US, I know that that's illegal. So if you're moving to the UK, you're an American, or you're working here, keep that in mind, that the drinking.
Hi guys, so we have heard enough, right? Let me not prolong this video further. We've heard about the language differences. I mean, the same meaning, but literally different word usage, right? Like elevator in the US is called lift in the UK. We've heard about the sense of humor, okay? Tipping culture, right? Customer service, even portion sizes, okay, and the drinking culture, right? Work-life balance, okay, even public display of affection, right? In the US they tend to display affection more publicly than the UK. Also, which other one do I remember? Let me know, guys. Let me know, have you lived in the US? Are you in the UK now? Let me know what the culture shock was for you, or let me know if you have friends that have experienced culture shocks in the US and in the UK. Let me know in the comment section. Okay, thank you guys for listening. I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to stay safe. Ciao.